What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Trade Talk ahead of Round 8. It is Wednesday, as always. Yeah, let's get stuck into the most trade in-out players. Looking forward to this round. Hopefully not as much carnage as last week. I know I didn't get hit as much as a lot of other coaches, but hopefully just for us, it was a bit of a carnage week. So hopefully we can have a smooth sailing week. Obviously starts with a showdown tomorrow night, which I'll be at. So looking forward to that game and then the rest of the round. But let's get stuck in to most trading out players for the week. And then we'll go to my top 5 targets as always. And then my trades for the week that I'm doing. But if you are watching, make sure you do smash a like on the video. It'd be very much appreciated. Yeah. Just if you can, if we can get 100 likes, that'd be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We passed 2150 the other day, so looking towards 2200 and then 3000 is the goal, hopefully before the end of the season. So if you guys can help out and subscribe, that'd be very much appreciated. But let's get stuck in to the most traded out players of the week. So Darcy Jones is the most traded in player, at this time of recording. Nearly 14,000 coaches jumped on him. That'll be more by the time the round starts. I'm a little bit nervous with Darcy Jones. He played very, very well. He looked great. Speed, everything about him. He brought a lot to the Giants team, and he's going to be a player for them in the future. But looking at their side, 4 players are going to come in this week. You're going to have Stephen Coniglio and Sam Taylor are likely to play this week. Not guaranteed, but it sounds like they get through the training this week. They're going to play. Big game against Sydney as well. Toby Green back from suspension, and Brent Daniels will come back into the side. But so it's more about Daniels and Green coming back in because you're not having those 2 players in your side. So that's why I worry. Even Harvey Thomas as well is a bit of a worry this week if he's dropped out of the side or not. But I could see Darcy Jones being the sub because when you look at the rest of the team, it's pretty stacked. Like you've got guys like O'Halloran and maybe even a Peatling would even be stiff to be dropped. But guys like that might be at risk. Even a Cadman as well, if they decide to go a little bit smaller in the game because it is meant to be very wet on Saturday for that game. So, yeah, I'm a bit worried about Darcy Jones as an option, to be honest, which is not normally what I'll be saying about the most trade-in player of the week. But, yeah, I'm a bit nervous. Jack McRae, nearly 5K coach jumping on him. I'm still pretty comfortable bringing him in. Again, he's not going to go and average 95, 100, and it's not like we're going to be relaxing every week having McRae on our side. But they've got 2 great matchups to come. Not many forwards have got the Rend 15 bolt, which is good as well. And with the lack of options, like we've got Heaney, we've got Flanders, but even Zorko put out a bad score on the weekend. Tom Powell played forward. I'm sure we'll speak about him in the most traded out players. There's a lot of players that aren't... Take away the top 2, the rest of them is essentially like a blanket over a lot of them because... yeah, a lot of them are scoring pretty poorly or have got a poor game in them. So for me, McRae, I'm still happy to jump on him. He's still, what, 730? Is that what he's priced at? Yeah, 730, 68 break even. Like, I'm pretty comfortable bringing him in and having him in our forward line. Jordan Sweep, 3.8k Jones. I'm really keen on him. I'd definitely rather him over Darcy Jones if you can get the upgrade you want. I'll even talk about it with my trades after, but he's probably going to dictate the other trade that I do. So, yeah, Jordan Sweep, I really like it as an option, whether it's an R3 on your bench, whether it's your R2 and you're going a Grundy or even a Sherry down. Like, I didn't love it at first, but it could get you an upgrade on the other end. So it is a potential play you could consider. Yeah, so, yeah, Sweep I really like. I looked at it as well. Soldo's 4 to 5 weeks away. If he was out for 4 weeks, that would put him returning at round 12. So he'd miss, what, 8, 9, 10, 11. And he'd come back round 12. Round 12, they play Thursday night against Carlton. That's on, as I said, Thursday night. Then they've got the bye. So if he doesn't play that game, he's listed as 4 to 5 weeks anyway. So he gets the extra week off with the bye. So I think that he's going to be back after the bye. I can't imagine he's back before the bye. And I guess it's best 18 during the byes. If he plays, you hold him. If he doesn't, you trade. And there you go. So for me, I'm a big fan. I think Sweet's a great option. And I'd be, if you can make it work, I would be saying he would be one of my top options. I'm sure he'll come up when we talk about my top 5 targets towards the end of the video. Tajwell Woden, not too bad. Again, a little bit like Darcy Jones, a bit nervous. Marty Hoare played VFL on the weekend. Apparently, Jake Bowie's back as well. Might play VFL, could even come straight into the side just because they know what Jake Bowie brings. So And he played off half-back last week, so it makes me a bit worried he could even be dropped this week. Well, not dropped per se, but yeah, just don't miss it the other side. So for me, I'm a bit nervous with him. There's not really many rookie options I'm comfortable with bringing in. Sweet, obviously, he's not rookie, but I do like him as an option to get some cash. Bailey Dale, nearly 3K jumping on him. He's been great last 2 weeks. 160, 134 in his last two. Break even's very, very low. Is in the 30s. Yeah, 47. He's up to 759 now, so it's not cheap. The only thing I'm worried about as well, I'm actually a little bit cautious about the matchup. Hawthorn. I could see Finn McGuinness going to Bailey Dale this week. He's played on half-back flankers every game. I know Blakey got a 130. Flanders got like a what? Got like a 125 or something. But I could see him playing on Dale and keep him to a low score. So I'm a bit nervous with it. I don't think I would get Dale, to be honest. I don't mind him. He's not a terrible pick. If you're bringing him in, I don't think it's a bad pick. I worry that he's not top 6 he's not top 6 defender. So what you bring him in for? Like, I know his value, but I don't know if he's going to necessarily be close enough, because they've Richards will be back in defence this week, I think, because Libba will be back in the team. So that's another guy back there. They've already got Johannesson there. They got Bramble. Like, Bailey Dale was playing at half forward flank. I know he's played too well to move back there. He's going to play in defence, but I just worry there's a few guys back there for the Dogs. Yeah, just a few things. But he's got a good run coming up, so you could jump on. He's got the final buy, so you could trade him at his buy. So don't hate it. I'm probably just not going to go there personally. Zach Merritt, people obviously jumping on him with that great run coming up, and he's been very, very safe, averaging 117. He's, don't get me wrong, good option. If you've got the cash you want to spend him, I'm not going to talk you out of it, but I do like some of the cheaper options. You've got a Caleb Sarong, you've got Tom Green, Jordan Dawson, Errol Gould, not this week with the weather, but Errol Gould's a good option still. Bont, I'd want to see something, but he's cheaper. There's like Dacos is obviously under 900k, a solid option as well. A lot of cheap options under the $1 million mark, and Zach Merritt is priced up at, what is he, 1.02 million. Yeah, again, as I said, if you got the cash, I wouldn't talk you out of it, but I'd probably want to save, like, you save 100k going Bont. I don't know if I'd go Bont yet. I want to see something from Bont first, but you save cash and you go another option. Like Butters as well, got a good buy. I don't mind Butters as well, so yeah, I'm again, Merritt, 50-50. Dan Curtin, make his debut. Very, very happy he's making debut for the Crows. I would be waiting a week on him. With rookies, I always want to wait a week first. There is options to get this week, and you can get Curtin in next week. I think I'd wait the week. I want to see his role first, like, because we don't know team selection. Does the Crows drop a Borlase and he come in as a second tall, which I would think would be very stupid of the Crows to do that. I would like to see him come in as a bit of a, he can do both. He can defend, but he can also rebound. So I'd like to see him come in and keep Borlase and Keane in there. And if he does, I think he could score okay and be a guy that we maybe downgrade next week. Because I'd be happy to downgrade the week after he has a good game. Because I think the Crows will want to keep, I don't think the Crows want to bring him in for a game, top pick, bring him in for a game and drop him. They're going to want to keep him in there for a few weeks. So for me, I'd wait a week, see how he goes. If he goes all right, I'd be happy to bring him in next week. Jake Rogers, he's the pick of my rookies for me this week. Look pretty good. I know he's not going to be a big scorer. He scored a 20-odd the week before. He scored 69 last week. Look good. I'm bringing him in more for job security because I think he's going to have a fair run at it. He looked very, very good. He's playing a bit high up the ground as well, getting involved. So for me, I think I'd rather him over a Jones and a Woden if you can afford to get him. He's what, was it 280? Was that what I saw? Yeah, 280. Darcy Jones is, I think, 234 or something. If I'm correct, as it just loads. Yeah, 234. Negative 6 break-in as well. But you could wait 1 week on Darcy Jones to see if he stays in the side and see how he goes if he stays in next week. And then Woden's 250. So Rogers a bit more expensive, but if you can afford it, I'd rather him over the other two, I think. But I'd still then go Sweet over all of them. So what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we've got Flanders and Dawson round out the top 10 most traded in players. So Flanders, if you haven't got him, yep, I still like the pick. 2.2k. I know he's 935 and the value's not there as much anymore. I think he's priced at, what's that? That'd be about 105-ish, which is probably what he's going to go in and around for the year. He might go 110, but yeah, I'd be happy to jump on. The lack of options as well. If you need Heaney and Flanders, because if you don't have those two, who have you got in your forward line? You don't want to be running 4 rookies. Like I don't like 3 rookies is stretching it, but I still don't hate if you've got rookies off the field in other positions. 2 rookies I think is a good number. I've currently got Reed and Wilson as my 2 rookies, and a few people have got 1. So, but yeah, and if you've got 1, who are you filling out your forward line with? So Flanders, I'm still happy to pay up for. Dawson, I'm still happy to get him as well. There are a few midfield. There is like a Sarong and Green. I think I'd rather over Dawson. I love Dawson. Like I think he's going to be a good option. He's averaging 109.9, which is very good considering that he had that 60. You remove if we remove. Actually, I'm just curious. I'm curious to see if we remove that average. I know you can't just sort of nitpick stats. I'm just keen to see what his average would be if you take away that 60. So he's actually averaging 118.2 if you remove that 60. So that's very, very good. Obviously, one poor week, and I know you can't remove it, so he is still averaging 109 or 110. Yeah, got Port this week. Tough matchup. Brisbane at home. Brisbane aren't as difficult as what they have been. Then Collingwood, West Coast, Hawthorn, Richmond. That's a really nice run of 4 games. So I think he's a really good option to bring in if you don't have him. And I'd still be considering it even with the other options. I do like the buy of Sarong, though. That's the thing that I might go him instead. Tom Green, if the round 12 buy works for you, could be another target because he's cheaper. But yeah, Dawson, good target as well. A few options here. Errol, I just don't like the weather coming in Sydney this week. 1.5 coach had jumped on him. I think Errol's still a good option moving forward. I worry about the rain. I could still see him having a game where I could still see him getting 30 touches and getting himself to an 80 and having a solid enough. Like, look at this, right? Against Richmond, he only had 1 mark, 2 tackles, 25 disposals. I could see him putting up a 90 this week or an 80. I could actually see him maybe his tackles being up a bit this week. Like, he got 6 against West Coast. He's had 2 the other weeks. He's not normally a big tackler, but I could see him getting 5 or 6 this week, or maybe even more. If he get his 25 touches, couple of marks, he get a few tackles, he could get a 90. I wouldn't be targeting this week, but I still think he's a target that you can safely bring in post this, because I like his run coming up. Freo Optus, Carlton SCG, Bulldogs at Marvel, then the bye. I'd be happy to bring him in after this week, but not this week. Tom Green, I like this week. Really good option. 1.5 coach are jumping on him. 942k, right for the picking. Break even's 121. He's just coming off a big score. If it is meant to be wet, I could see him having a big game in terms of tackles and getting a lot of balls. So yeah, Tom Green, I like jumping on him this week. Walsh is an option. I think I'd rather a few over him. I just don't know. Like his floor's high. Like he's not going to give you, I don't think, too many scores below 90. And he's going to be a lot of low tons. So if you just want a safe guy, I like him. I think I would rather Tom Green over him. It's not much of a difference now. I think if you can get Dawson, I'd rather Dawson. I'd rather Sarong if you can get there as well. I'd rather a few options, but yes, Walsh by no means a bad option at all. I just think there are a couple of other options I'd personally prefer. Heaney, we had this chat on the podcast last night, and I think I agree. If you don't have Heaney, I think you could just jump on him. I know it's expensive. He's $9.54, 125 break even. He's not going to go at 115, I don't think, for the rest of the year, but I think he's 105 plus in this role. Parker back this week. It'd be interesting to see if that affects Heaney's role much. I don't think it will. I just think with the lack of options, I think you just want to try and lock in the guys you're sure. And I think Heaney and Flanders are the 2 guys you want. So if you don't have Heaney, I think I'd be happy to bring him in. If you could, but I'd probably want to see another week or 2 of this. But he's going to be subbed out at some point. I'm just a bit nervous bringing him in. If you've got him, you're definitely holding he's and hoping that he keeps going on his way. Dacos, yeah, good option. If he's an option I'm looking at this week, potentially. Gawn as well, if you don't have him. Sarong I like as well, obviously here. 1,000 coats are jumping on him. So I like Sarong. Don't mind Myers as well. Hardiman, you could as well. Downgrade option. I'll probably wait a week to see, do you go him or Curtin? But yeah, don't mind Hardiman. Yeah, Myers as well, as I said, is an option in the forward line you could consider. I don't know if I'd be bringing McKercher back in. Moving to the most traded out players. So this will be probably quick and easy, I think, now. It's not really chatting too much. Jeremy Sharp, yep, can go. 6.8 is most trade out this week. He can go if he gets the upgrade you want as well. He's got Richmond this week. Could put up a solid score, so I'm not opposed to holding him. But again, I'd be happy to trade if he gets the upgrade. Zach Fisher, if he's not if he's not named sub, I'd hold. St Kilda's a great matchup this week. The lack of options in the forward line as well. Breaking as well, he's 6, I know. It's getting late on a Tuesday night. Yeah, like I can understand why people are jumping off. If he's not named sub, I'd probably hold, to be fair. Yeah, that's what I'd do. I think there are probably other issues if he stays. But if he's either out of the side or the sub again, I would be trading. Riley Sanders can go. I don't know if he's going to come back this week. So yeah, I'd just be trading anyway. Even if he does, 84 break even, still 500k. You go him down, even to a sweep, you make yourself 60k, and that might get you the upgrade on the other end. If you bank cash last week, I'd be able to trade. Dempsey, the same thing. Happy to trade him. Back-to-back 50s. Break-even's up at 76. So, yeah, if you can trade him, he gets you upgrade. I'm happy to trade him along with Zach Williams. Williams has only had that one game where he got the 91. Every other game has been, 60s and 70s. Obviously, besides that game where he got subbed out on a 28. Yeah, look at that. A lot of 60s there. The 70... all of them in 60 except for the 28, the 91, the 74. So, yeah, I'd be happy to trade. The one thing I do like Williams, though, is if you've got a Reed or a Caulfield or a red dot in defence, you could hold him this week. Because his break-even, I think, his break-even's, 78 or something? Or somewhere around 75. You could hold him this week. You loop him on the Friday night. If he puts out an 80 score or a decent score, you could take his score and field it this week. But again, I'm not happy if you just want to cut your losses and trade him. So, yeah, but you could hold. So, yeah. Tom Powell, interesting. It's probably going to be the talk of the week. 4.4k jumping off of him at the moment. That number will probably rise. I just think the lack of forward options. If you don't have Heaney or Flanders, you could go up there and just do that trade. But then what's the rest of your forward line looking like? I'm in the camp of holding this week. He's got Saints this week. Good matchup. I don't see Phillips being in the side this week. I think my mate who's a North fan said that Phillips only came in for Eddie Ford. So Eddie Ford will come back in this week. Phillips, I think, will be out. Simpkins also on the injury report for the quad. He's listed as a test. So whether he plays or not, I don't know. But even if one of them misses, I think Powell just goes back into the role. He was too good in the start of the year to completely move out of the role. If he plays forward this week, he's definitely then a trade the week after. But I think he goes back into that forward role this week, and I would be pretty comfortable in holding him this week, I think. Jackson, I think he can go. He's now, I think, dropped cash for the season. Yeah, he's dropped 34k for the season, unfortunately. So, and he's playing forward. Yeah, I think he's one that I'd be making almost a priority if you don't have forced trades in your side. 122 rating is just going to keep dropping in cash. I'd be jumping off if you can. Aaron Cadman, yep, he can go. He's hit his break even. His average is now, so his break even is now at his average. So this is the week that he could go. He's not a must trade. Like if it doesn't get you the upgrade that you want, and maybe a Dempsey down and a Sharp up is better, then that I'm still happy to do that play as well. But he's a guy that he can go. I would not be afraid to be trading him. And then 9 and 10, Harvey Gallagher, another one the same as Cadman, can go. 61 break even. He hasn't really done much since he scored that 90 against West Coast. He's 51, 29, 65 and 32. So I'd be happy to cut ties with Gallagher as well. And then Connor Rosie is at number 10. If you missed the news yesterday, he has been declared available for the showdown. Josh Carr did say yesterday morning that it's a small chance he plays. So just because he's declared available, it doesn't necessarily mean he is going to play. He is available, so Port can select him, and it's sounding like he probably will play based on that. But there is every chance he's not free. But because he is this close to playing on a Thursday night game, I think if it was a Saturday game, I think you could almost lock him into play based on what they're saying. But I think we've seen that it's only going to be max he's going to miss this week, if he is even going to miss. So if you've got him, I'd be holding. I'd bench him for the week. Maybe that's where you do keep a Jeremy Sharp against Richmond, who could put out a decent score there. And yeah, so I'd be happy to hold Rosie for this week, and I'd be holding. And then a few other options. Yeah, Campbell can go. Massimo can go. I think Grundy to Sweet is a decent trade, and you could definitely make that happen. A lot of those people as well had Grundy R3, so maybe they're doing that down to Sweet this week. Dersma, Lazaro, Jai Clark, all can go. Marshall is an interesting one. I think I agree with what DC and Tim said last night. If he's ruled out or whatever, or there's word that there is a big issue there, then yep. But if he plays, I think you still hold him. I think he's fine to still hold. So yeah, I'd be holding, I think, at this stage. It is tempting, though, to trade him. When you've got English there, you've got Sweet there. So, yeah, I'd be holding. So, my top 5 options for the week. I think John Sweet's number 1. And I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. I think that he's at a good price. He's got the number 1 ruck role. As I mentioned before, I don't think Soldo's going to be back into the Port team before that bye. So, you've got a good chunk in. And if he plays well enough, there's not anything to say that Sweet's going to be out of the team. Like Soldo might just be in the SANFL until if they even make a change. So I'm happy jumping on him. Whether you could go a Sherry down or I'd be happy enough to go to Grundy down. I think Sherry's obviously the one that you could or you might not. Again, I like him as an R3 player as well. Continue that cash gen. So I'm happy to jump on Jordan Sweet, and I've got him at number 1. I'm pretty comfortable with bringing him in. So he would be my number 1. Number 2 for me, I think I'd be going, and normally I don't go big primos as like the number 2 or 3 option, but I think Caleb Sarong's at number 2. When you look at Caleb Sarong, so he's all the way down here. Wait, did I miss him somewhere? Oh yeah, there he is. 1K coach is jumping on him. Again, I like the buy. The round 13 buy is going to be really valuable, I think. There's not many players on that buy, especially midfielders as well. Like, I know you got Butters, Brayshaw, Rosie, and Sarong, but Brayshaw's not really cutting at the moment. Rosie's obviously injured, and Butters is another solid option. But I like Sarong. He started well, obviously, year off fantastic. He went 82 against Carlton. I think he copped some attention in that game. I think Hewitt was tagging him for a fair part of that day. 92 against Port. Port a tough matchup as well for one. Still had 29 touches, just the marks and that weren't there. West Coast, he was a top scoring player on the ground with 107. So that was obviously not huge, but it's fine enough. And 107 against the Dogs, where a lot of handballs last week, and we did see a lot of players have a lot of handballs, like Brayshaw had a lot of handballs. Fife obviously always does, but had a lot. Bont had a fair few handballs as well. Trelaw had a lot. So yeah, I think that game was just very much a running through the middle, a lot of just handball in that game. So I'm pretty happy bringing in Sarong. I like him as an option. So I got him at number 2. Number 3, I think I would put Tom Green. I think the matchup this week against Sydney, big game. I think he's the sort of player that's going to stand up in that, and the conditions as well, I think, are going to suit someone like Tom Green as well. So for me, I'm pretty happy jumping on Tom Green this week. 121 break even, obviously isn't obviously great, but he's going to be a top 8 mid. He obviously, a few quiet games here. Gold Coast, toughest matchup for midfielders, I think, as well. Saints, obviously, that's not a good game there. Steele went to him for a lot of the day. Then 100, got back to a little bit of form against Carlton, who aren't easy, and then obviously a good game against Brisbane last week. So 127 there. So I like Tom Green as an option. If that round 12 bye works for you, I'm still happy to bring in a round 12 player because every player's going to miss a bye anyway. Miss a week with a bye. So I'm happy enough to bring him in. It just depends if it works for you. I think I think a lot of our trades are going to be now is going to be about buys and if they work. Number 4, sorry, because I went obviously Tom Green 3. Number 4, I'd go Jack Macrae. 4.9k jumping on him, as I said before. Again, Richmond, Hawthorn the next 2. I like the matchups. Lib will come back in, but Richards has had that role, so Lib's just going to replace him. Again, you're not going to go to bed at night, sleep easy and go, oh, yeah, great. I hope like Macrae's going to be solid, safe, and I don't have to worry about him. Yeah, there's always going to be a worry there, but there's no forward options really that haven't got a flag next to them. I think Macrae's got the scoring upside of all the options that we're looking at. Good matchups to come with Hawthorn and Richmond. So yeah, I'd be happy to jump on Macrae and bring him in. So 68 break even as well. 730k is a good price. Number 5, again, this could be a lot of players. It could be plenty. I actually think I like, where is he? I think Liam Baker I'd put at 5. I like the fact that, well, obviously it's not good that Hopper's injured, but the fact that Hopper's not there is a good thing for Baker. I think he's had a lot of his scoring in that last quarter as well. He started the game really well and finished the game well. It's just the middle part of the game he didn't score as well. Yeah, just with the lack of options, again, I like him as the next best forward as an option. So he's been consistent besides that opening round game. And again, Gold Coast we know are a little bit tougher. So yeah, I'm happy to jump on Baker. So I think he would be my number 5 option. But again, there's like even a Kennedy I don't mind as well. I'd want to see him this week with Cherabat before jumping on him, but not a bad option. But again, you could go Dacos this week. You could go Green, as I mentioned before, Dawson, Flans if you don't have him, Merritt if you've got the cash. I don't know if I'd pay up, but it's not a bad option. A lot of options this week. Like, there's only one player that's brought in by over 5,000 coaches and only 4 people over 3K. So it is a very diverse week. A lot of people go in a lot of different directions. So you could definitely go a lot of different options. So my trades this week, probably depends a bit on Jordan Sweet on Thursday night. So most of the week I've been going Dempsey to Sweet and Sharp or Williams up to Dacos, and that's probably going to be my trades. But if Jordan Sweet put out a good score on Thursday, could be a 70 plus. If it's an 80 or a 90 plus, it would make me very much consider it. I've considered doing Sherry down to Sweet instead. I'd just be able to update the trade or just trade Sherry after, and go Jai Clark out as well. So going Jai Clark to Sweet essentially, and then going Sherry up to, it would essentially be Sherry down to Sweet and Jai Clark up to Caleb Sarong. It gets rid of essentially a brown dot, as the traders like to call it, and a guy not making any cash. If he comes back in for Dangerfield this week, he's probably going to be the sub, going to lose cash as well. I can then keep Sharp this week, play him on field against Richmond, but it gets a rookie that I'm a bit nervous about somewhere else off the field in my team. And yeah, I like it. Gets a rookie off the ground as well. I know Sherry out's not great. I probably normally wouldn't do it, but if Sweet puts up a good score, I want to take those points and get those points on the ground somewhere else. So that's what I'd be considering. But it could be the Dacos trades as well, because I'm happy to bring him in this week, even in a tougher matchup. So I want him next week anyway. So, yeah, beautiful. That'll do us for the trade talk as always. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below and let me know what you guys are doing with your trades. And if you need any help, I'm happy to answer those. Apologies for last week that I didn't get to answer any of them. Birthday, Anzac Day, Wednesday footy, and footy every day. So it got too busy. And yeah, sorry. Apologies for that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the Friday pre-lockout chat as always at 6 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Western Standard Time. So make sure you guys tune into that. And then obviously the watch along. It'll be either Melbourne and Geelong or West Coast Essendon, I believe, are the 2 Saturday night games. So one of those 2 will be doing. So make sure you guys tune to that. And yeah, make sure you smash a like on the video as always. If we can get 100, that'd be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so we can hit 3,000 subscribers. That's the goal that we are aiming for. And yeah, we'll catch you on Friday for the pre-lockout chat. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you then. So I'm out. Cheers.